in the process of becoming live.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
That's actually how my relationship started.
We're live on just about everything.
You know what? I'm going to start the show, and whoever is not live is just not live because we are late than a motherfucker. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Berkeley Poetry Slam. My name is Reggie, and I will be your host on this illustrious evening full of poetic genius and artistic beauty. But before we begin, I, of course, have to give a shout out to the people that make this motherfucker happen. Of course, those are our supporters over on Patreon. We have been rocking out, going on 3 years now, gang. Online, 3 years online, going into our 3rd year online, paying poets, paying features, giving out prize money, and not charging a dime for anyone to participate or to be or to watch in any way, shape, or form. So it's really community support that we are relying on in order to keep it going. So we want to really shout out our monthly sustaining supporters, in particular, Renee Edmonds, Stephanie Yaboa, and Emily Chow and Calla Lily for being regular supporters. Want to give a thank you to Jessica Kozakit for sponsoring one of our weekly workshops, and a special thank you to Alice Grimm and Rebecca Abraham for pledging $100 a month in support of one of our venues, the Allen Bluford Center. If you really enjoy what you see here, love the arts, or really just believe in platforms and liberations for oppressed people across the world, that have access to our platform, you can head over to patreon.com/Rich Oak Events to risk it for the biscuit with us and donate monthly. You can donate anywhere from $2 a month to $100 a month, but all of it goes right back into running this show and other shows like it in the Bay Area, providing platforms to underserved artists. I know you can vibe with that. So yeah, support us. Lit. And now we got our show. I'm really excited for this show. We have an amazing feature. We have Chev as our feature, Siobhan Guthrie. Like, I don't know if you know who that is, but he's been popping on our mic for a while now and has always blown me away. So I'm super excited. But a slam is a competition, and every competition has its rules. So first, for the poets, you must spit your own original work, and you have 3 minutes with a grace period of 10 seconds to do so. After 3 minutes and that grace period of 10 seconds, you will be deducted points by our scorekeeper, Colin. After 4 minutes, you will be muted, and I will have to come back on stage and awkwardly recover that fumble. Please don't make me do that. I'm mad awkward. I have anxiety. It's just going to be painful for everyone involved. So whatever you do not go over 4 minutes. Next, for the judges. Judges, you have the hardest job tonight because you have to give your opinion on these poems semi-openly. You will be judging every poem from a 0.0 to 10.0 scale, 0.0 being the worst piece of shit you ever heard in your life. It's like babies crying on an airplane that is also currently crashing. It is the worst thing you could imagine times crying babies, and that's just a 2.5. A 10 is the best thing that you've ever heard. It's like the first cry from a baby after they're born, so you know that they're breathing, and that's just like an 8.5, the miracle of life. Point being, not a lot of zeros, not a lot of 10 score accordingly. There's this thing where as the night goes on and we get more entrenched in the vibrational energy of the evening, the scores start going up, and that's not fair to the people who went first when you were vibeless and clueless. So to help you out with that, we will have somebody to go before everyone else, our sacrificial poet. They are not competing, but you are going to score them as if they are. So think of it as a calibration. So any poems you like more, score them higher. Any poems you don't like as much, score them lower. And then for you at home, our audience, you have rules too. yeah, I'm in your home telling you what to do, because we need you to like, share, subscribe, follow. I don't know what the kids are doing these days on stalk us on social media, whether it's our Twitter, our Instagram, our YouTube, our Facebook, Berkeley Poetry Slam, or Bay Poets Unite for YouTube. Because we do a lot of shit every month. Like we have a weekly show, we have a monthly show, there's a bi-monthly show, there's a lot of shit that I can't even keep track of. And I use social media to keep track of it. So you should too. And you'll always stay in touch and informed about what we are doing. Lit. I think that's it. No, oh my goodness, how did I almost forget? A time-honored tradition. Word of the day, where we tragically try to force poets to jam a random word from Merriam-Webster's dictionary into their poem for an extra point. Today's word of the day is slapdash. It is an adjective, which means haphazard or slipshod, which the word slipshod does not explain slapdash any better. But haphazard, slipshod, not done very thoroughly. Poets, if you use slapdash in your round one poem, you get an extra point. Judges, you don't have to worry about this because the scorekeeper will already handle it. Lit. So we have all of our mighty poets, our mighty rules. We have our poets. Oh my goodness. I actually didn't say who's going to be in the slam today. Wow, I almost forgot. Lit. So the poets shall be reading in this order, and I need y'all to like cheer, to make noise, to unmute yourselves every time you hear a poet's name, because they will be reading in this order. We have Shakina, then we have Nicole Tracy, then we have Bialsi, then we have Caleb, and then we have John. Give it up to every single poet that is on the stage tonight.
Oh.
Gang, gang, gang. Lit. Is there anything I'm missing? I don't think so. We're good. Lit, which means that on deck, we have Shakina, but give maximum love to your sacrificial poet of the night. Give it up for Reggie.
Let's go, Reggie. Yes. Slay.
Let's go, poet.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Gang. 1. The sea is a vengeful spirit. I know because I have sat on every beach and heard it whisper of blood and forced migration. There is a bad omen on the wind. Typhoons speak of rage. Hurricanes speak of conquest, throwing children overboard. When the Atlantic spills herself into the blackest parts of the South, it is not an act of God. It is not a natural disaster. It is a lineage of violence emerging from the depths that drowns my people. It is a legacy of neglect that burst the levees. Only a graveyard could whip up a storm with that much death, swelling the tide past its boundaries, so believe me. The ocean came to finish what America started. 2. Where do I return to if not the ocean? My country drowned home out of vocabulary and made a beach of my mouth. My tongue is too heavy to float in this language. Where do I return to if not the salt and the sand? When everything starts to erode away, you get to the root of grief. For instance, my mother will cry if you ask her about her mother, or this country will riot when you ask it about who it truly believes in. We crossed an ocean's worth of blood, so death must return to the Atlantic. Dead bodies do not return home, so ancestors cannot undrown or uncrowd a slave ship. The ocean is not vengeful, it is obedient. America said, open your mouth, and it swallowed a country's worth of ghosts. I asked it to show me it's dead and the currents turn to blood. Where do I return to if not all that has failed to kill me? My lungs swallowed the ocean and I did not die. I coughed up every body lost to the tide and did not find home. Buried in the sand. Home is whatever calls me back to everything I have lost while drowning. Everything that tries to hold me becomes water, even my mother's hands. Her voice cresting, my body breaking when she tells me that I was made to float. All right, give it up for the poet. Whoa, I don't even know who that person is. Judges, send your scores over to our scorekeeper, Lit. So that was our first poet, our sacrificial poet. You judges are now experts. Our audience is now very well seasoned and prepared to enter the oven that is a poetry slam. I don't know where that metaphor went, but it went somewhere. In other words, we have a properly seasoned audience, properly seasoned poets, properly seasoned judges. So I think we are ready to make a poetic meal. So that means that on deck, we have Nicole Tracy. But I need you to give maximum love for our first poet competing in the slam tonight. I need y'all to give it up for Shakina.
Let's go, poet. Let's go.
Women in my family inherit heartache like maiden names. Auntie Mantha wasn't the only one with a hole in her heart, just the first to die from it. I'm gonna sit at the dinner table with second husbands and Granny's last name. Well, thank God, because he was the first man to stay around, but I haven't seen him lately. Me and God got a secret. He prefers me on my knees with full mouth, prayers dripping off my lips. My aunts say he exposed himself before they were women, had greedy fingers with their uncles' mouths. Religion has always been all in the family. This year, I might say grace. They'll ask me when I'll start a church of my own. God will sit himself at the dinner table. I would not give him permission to touch me, but neither did Mary. I'm not the first to swallow a seed without consent. God doesn't pity the weak. I hope I'm meek enough to inherit the heaven he promised 40 years ago. But women in my family inherit heartache. This year, I will say grace. God will sit at the dinner table. My aunts will fix him a plate. My granny will smile at him. I will say amen.
Woo! Let's go, poet.
Gang, gang, gang. Give it up for Shakina. Woo! I heard like one person give it up for Shakina, so we're gonna try
Come on, let's
that
go,
again.
poet.
Give it up
Let's
for
go,
Shakina.
let's go, let's go.
There we go. I heard more people. Maybe there was a delay. Maybe I jumped the gun on yelling at y'all. I apologize, but lit. Thank you. And for reference, your sacrificial poet got a 27.4. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poetry and never the points. The poetry.
Yes,
Never.
poet.
the
Yes.
Always the
points.
poetry. Always, always, always.
Yes, loving the love in the comment section. Someone said, where are the 10s? I don't know. It's kind of your job as the audience to get 10s. And the way that you can do that is by letting us know how you feel in the comment section. And what we mean by letting us know how you feel is by giving maximum love to the poets in the comment section. It's hella hard to gauge how people are fucking with your work if people are quiet about it, especially on Zoom. So, you know, definitely, whether you're at home or here in the Zoom, show love for every single poet in the comment section, a line that you like. Let's go, poet. Just a little bit of encouragement goes a super long way, but keep it cute because we block folks for being assholes. Love you. But on deck, we have BLC. But give maximum love to our next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Yes, let's go, Nicole.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Mic check.
We can hear you.
New shit.
New shit.
Yeah.
I don't remember when or why I noticed you, just that I did. I'm 12 and way too into Twilight because all of my friends are. I'm sure I would describe us meeting as magnetic. Magnets operate based on attraction and repulsion. Attraction, you are a year older and think I am cute. Outside force, my friends say we are adorable and push us together. Attraction, I think every fight with my mother is the end of the world and you listen. I feel seen, I feel heard, I feel loved. Repulsion, you move on to high school and I spend every day counting down until we are together again, and I resent you for enjoying high school. Attraction, I see you once a week for an hour and it is the best hour until repulsion, now it's not. You casually bring up more than kissing and I am afraid of the way my own body develops. Attraction, I am labeled the cool girlfriend and think this means your friends like me. Attraction, my mother thinks you are the perfect first boyfriend. Outside force, I will be going to the same high school as you. I take this to mean a sign from the universe and plan college and a first apartment and marriage and kids. Attraction, I can finally see you every day. Well, school days and at least your friends know me. Repulsion, my friends do not know you. Repulsion, you tell me your friends ask if we are having sex. You ask me to lie and say yes, so you are the envy of high school. Outside force, the Jesus freak in my gym class finds out, calls me slut, and this becomes my reputation. Easy A has just come out and I want to be just like Olive Pendergast. Attraction, I like the way it feels when we kiss and hands wander. Repulsion, I do not like myself much afterwards. Repulsion, you tell me one of your best friends lost their virginity. Attraction, you tell me you want me to be your first and I call this romantic. Attraction, you buy condoms, we make a plan, it is awkward and slapdash, but I have no regrets. Repulsion, it does not feel good for me. You tell me it does. Attraction, you tell me we have so much more time to figure it out, so there is no pressure. Outside force, you didn't mean it when you said you had patience. Repulsion, repulsion, God, I hope I never see you again. Repulsion, 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 repulsion.
Gang, gang, gang. Give it up for Nicole Tracy. Ooh. Am I by myself? Can y'all hear me?
We hear you. Woo!
Sorry, I'm in my feels.
I was like, damn. I said give it up for the poet and like only the person that was in the same room as me said something. I was like, oh shit, maybe my sound is off. But I'm glad to know that y'all are here. Please do let me know that you're here. Someone said better than giving it up is the shock and silence. You know what? You might be right. But I'd prefer it if we gave maximum love for every poet that touched the stage tonight. So that is what we're going to do, because this is in fact my show tonight. So make sure you clap, make noise, unmute for every single poet. We don't play favorites because everyone here is dope. And I can prove that by showing you who's up next. On deck, we have, oh no, I fucking lied. I need to give you the scores for the last poet. Our last poet got a 27.8. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet, never the points. The poet, never the points.
Let's go,
I would use my
poet.
other hand, but I have water. Because the only thing more important than staying high is staying hydrated. Anyway. Anyway, someone said Nestle. No, we do not drink Nestle water in this bitch. We're better than that. But on deck, we have Caleb. But give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Vialcy.
Woo, let's go, poet.
Hi, mic check.
We can
Hear
hear you.
you.
There is a world where I own my name proudly. I'm not quite there yet, though there are times when I make the effort to try. My name is a story, a slapdash sounding word created from the bones of another name. As such, there is no definition. No meaning by which I can guide myself by. There are no railings on this roller coaster of a ride for me to hold tight onto, and no track to serve as a guide to a predetermined goal. Perhaps that is why I am strung in so many different directions that if I were a picture, I might be a web. It all begins with my name. The introduction I begin at, a point I avoid like the handshake it is associated with, because my name feels like a dress I never feel like I'll fit into. My body grew curves long before I was mentally ready. Stares from strangers causing me to wish I was still small, compact, able to fit in the box society wants so desperately to place me in. I'll tell you a secret. Sometimes my name feels foreign to my tongue too. Sometimes when people ask me what it means, I want to say, I wish I knew. If only I could find a dictionary entry I could point to for understanding, a wiki listing of attributes, history, etymology, but I know all that. It is just me, a name so vague, so begging to be defined, and I am the only one of my kind. I am the only one that can give this milkshake of a name any sort of explanation. My mom put her middle name in a blender 20 years before I was born, and she gifted me the milkshake. The rearranged letters so close to her own, yet worlds apart. My name sounds like a stutter. It looks like a science experiment, auto-corrected all the time. In the web that is me, I try to make my name smaller than it should be. Like I said, it's something I wish I could wear proudly. I introduce myself, squeeze out my name past my lips to watch it float in the air, brushed out and carried away. It is exhausting. Anxiety-inducing. It is a piece of me I wish could be replaced, but I know we are inseparable. No other name would fit better. I've gone into the fitting room multiple times, trying to find one that might fit just right, but they never do. For the sake of privacy in a post-digital world, I made a stage name. One for the public. My name is not my own, a stranger's. It's beautiful, but it's a symbol. Symbols are not reality. Reality is messy, complicated, auto-corrected, built on top of pre-existing creations. My name is Vialcy. At 12 years old, I had to create a way for this milkshake name to better float out of my throat for others to stomach it better. My name is Vialcy, like we all see, but with a V. Vialcy.
Gang, gang, gang.
Good job, poet.
Give it up for Vialcy. No one?
Good job, poet.
I'm
Go,
going
go,
to
dedicated.
I'm going to allow it because y'all gave it up for Vialcy before. I told y'all to give it up for Vialcy. So we'll let it slide.
By the way, I'm still missing scores from the last poet, Nicole, from a judge who I'm not gonna bust out.
I was gonna say his name, but hey.
I dropped out for a second.
But can you send the score?
I'm scoring right now.
Ah, there we go. You should have your score soon. But while we're stalling, let's see. I'll tell you about our writing workshop. Oh my goodness, what? We have a writing workshop. Oh my God. Yes, we do. We have a writing workshop every Wednesday before our show at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I cannot do math, so I cannot tell you what time that is across the rest of the United States. But what I can tell you is that in other places, that is not 7 o'clock p.m. It's a different time. So I encourage you to look it up and to come if you are able. It's 10 p.m. Eastern. What? I feel like I stopped watching television and stopped being able to like translate time zones. You know how they're like 7, 8 Central or whatever? But it's 10 p.m. Eastern, not 7 or 10 p.m. Eastern, somewhere else. So, but yeah, it's usually run by an organizer or our feature. Chev ran a really, really fun workshop before the show. So if you missed it, it kind of sucks for you, but I'll pray for you. And maybe you'll make the next one and have an equally dope time. But you should come. It's free 99, which when was the last time you saw a fucking online workshop where the workshop facilitator is getting paid? That was free. Never. Maybe donation based, but never free. So you should come through to our workshop. Do I have that last score for Nicole? We will have that in a second. We're just going to move along because on deck, oh no, I lost my list. On deck, we have Dawn, but give maximum love to our next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Caleb.
Woo! Yes, let's go, poet.
Woo!
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
This is for the guy who was more interested in my parentage than he should have been. For the one who invited into our home and ate the food that my mom prepared. And when he found out she chose me rather than birthed me, he slapdashed all the stupidity in his body and asked what happened, to my real mother. For the one who made my mom's smile fade into the sunset and for a split second made her question her place in my heart. Mom, before you, I was a ship on dry land and you became an ocean just for me. I was a branch without a root. You planted a broken boy and watched it grow into a human. You took a ghost and planted him inside the body of a boy. Watched my wooden heart turn real. A woman who took in 3 kids in a 2-bedroom, fed us 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, and never made any of us feel like a math problem. This is about the woman who fathered when she didn't have a choice, when she had a choice, who always gave more than she got. Taught me about helping those in need, how to build a shed, how to build a fence, how to love God even when it hurts. And she taught me that respect is earned and every single day should be a payday. And when this world called her nothing, she made sure her children felt like a something. Turned dimes into dollars, boys into men with a backbone stronger than any of our problems. Adoption seems to be the only loss where people are expected to be grateful. And when my heart wasn't, when I felt like a tree without roots, I spit all the bile my teenage body could no longer contain. White knuckles on kitchen chair, yelled, "You're not my real mother." She held me so tightly until all those parts came back together. And she said, "I was not your first mom, but I will be your last." This is for the woman who was never fueled by the word thank you, even though she should be covered of them. A mother and a replacement father, even though no one could ever take her place. And every single day she put on her cape and she cooked, she cleaned, she refereed. Every day she taught me the word mother isn't a noun, it's a verb. So now you know about my real mother. And if you want to know about the other person, just think of a metaphor of anything missing or gone or abusive, because my mom may not have carried me in her womb for 9 months, but I can promise you this, she carried me for longer.
Gang, gang,
So
Thank you,
gang.
poet.
Give it up for Caleb.
fucking go.
Yes. All right. And for reference, I have the past 2 scores. Wonderful. Nicole got a 28.6. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Never the points.
Yes, poet.
Gang, 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 gang.
And BLC got a 28.7.
Good
Once
job,
again,
all right.
fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Never the points. Lit. On deck, we have our feature, Chev. Super excited. If you don't know who Chev is, you're gonna have to learn, and it's okay. Learning is okay. I think that's something that we don't understand, is that it's okay to not know. But like, we're giving you the opportunity to learn, and you should follow Chev after this. You absolutely should. You should follow Chev and then give him all your money. But we'll figure out why on deck. But give maximum love to our last poet of the first round. Give it up for Don.
Let's go, poet.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
If there's one thing Black people like to do yearly, it's have a cookout, a barbecue, the yearly family seafood boil, where we make macaroni and cheese, fried chicken, eat potato salad only if my auntie mixes, because you cannot have everybody's. At the barbecue, me and my cousins do the annual walk around the block, make sure none of the food goes to waste, and yet somebody always brings something that none of us can never digest. The auntie, the uncle, the parent that we talk about in private. You have good table manners when they are at the dinner table as if they ain't touched a child. May seasonings out of that baby's sexuality say that child is moving too fast like the rape and pressure cooked them into adulthood. But at the barbecue, all family is welcome because we treat this trauma like food. Swallow until our eyes become bigger than our stomachs, and when it does, we tend for a wrap the PTSD so that none of it goes to waste, because Black people are taught to never waste what is on their plate, never complain about something that was an accident. Slapdash family meetings, Chuck, the cornrow memories we hold on to make sure the rapers of the family still gets an invite. Pass the now around like first servings. Children sit at the kiddie table, stay out of grown folks' business, ignoring all the signs, finding excuses why everything should remain normal. At the barbecue, we question why some of us don't come around anymore. How when we start breaking generational curses as if we all became skinny. Not hungry enough to eat Big Mama's fried chicken because she said a family sticks together through thick and thin, yet she don't realize my palate for what is acceptable in this family has aged out of my arteries. The thing about family trauma, it is the reason why the food is so good, the reason why we raise children the same way we were. Yet when we start breaking generational curses, sounds like Thanksgiving clap back, barbecue beat down, say your mental health ain't worth tearing this family apart, but treat children like ribs, let their mental health fall off the bone, served with a side of excuses and suicide attempts to ask God what went wrong. If self-preservation be the reason why the barbecue stopped, then let it be high cholesterol, the itis, clogged arteries. Let it be a sign that we won't tolerate trauma being a cause and effect. Won't let our children be fed on like we were. They call it child at birth, because I don't ever want my babies to be fed on at the barbecue like I have my babies, feeling medium rare, dripping with secrets that I may never know, like my mother who found out and was till it was too late to let the family know that they got the right one on the right day, talking about me as if I wasn't there when I was at the dinner table, because we teach children to forget what happened to them instead of teaching adults to be held accountable for their actions. So fuck the barbecue. Yeah, we forgive like family do, because blood is thicker than water until you drown.
Woo!
Gang.
Come on, poet. Let's go.
Gang. Give it up for Don.
Hell yeah. Yes.
Lit, 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 lit. And the last poet, let me check that again, because I think I remembered the score, but I can't read and I can't count. So the last poet, Caleb, got a 28.9. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Never the point. The poet. Never the point. Let me see. Can we get that last score for Don before I introduce? Okay, and Don got a perfect 30. But once again, fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet, never the points. The poet, never the points. Damn, that was the first round. I don't know about you. I can't count, I can't read, but I think that the scores are close, pretty damn close. And everybody in the first round was fire and will be performing in the second round as well. But before we get into the second round, we have this amazing feature. I'm so excited. Like, a lot of people, like, I don't know, Chev, if you know this, but like, I've been telling these niggas to feature you since you first stepped on this mic. The first time you came up here, I was like, ooh, we need to feature this mug. We need to make sure. So I've really been looking forward to this, and I'm really glad that we were able to get you on the mic. Definitely one of my favorite poets that I've met in this quarantine journey. But I'm gonna read Chev's bio because it's a bio. Siobhan Chev Guthrie is a spoken word artist from Atlanta, Georgia, by way of New York City. His work stems from lifelong loves of love, life, discourse, and all things Black, period. His first taste for performing came as a member of St. John's first ever College Union Poetry Slam team in 2018. He's since become a multi-time international Grand Slam champion, both hosted and featured at the famed Apache Cafe, Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and various venues across the United States. Chev has a love for words has loved words for as long as he can remember, and in his adulthood, he has traded lunch tables and backpacks and backs of school buses. I'm sorry. Backs of school buses for stages and studios in attempts to use art to make the world around him make sense. I need y'all to give like a nice, thick round of applause for your feature tonight, Chev.
Let's go, Chev.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. I wonder what night thinks of day. I wonder how God decided which he'd give his son to. Why they called one unholy, as if the moon ever burned anybody. As if it don't set table for stars, but still has to eat breakfast out back. I wonder who decided that a black sky be the time to close your eyes. Like we didn't need to see this. Sending children to bed early in avoidance, as if day ain't the one that always begins and morning cracks dawn like whip. If work not done will take your light, your children, your freedom away, watch the world turn over in 24 hours and colonized all but 8. Decided the month we celebrate love and black be the one it leaves early. Will blind you. If you ever look close enough to see the night behind everything it does, as if God himself didn't say, let there be light, meaning the darkness was already present, already gift. Cursed be whoever told you that holy night be a silent one, because night be a party. Loud and as joyous as the heavens, it sits under darkness. Be so beautiful to God, put it inside your eyelids. Imagine how much he loves you if you put it in your skin. Hi, folks. For those people who zone out during bios, I'm Chev. My mama likes to call me Siobhan, which my niggas call me Chev. And if you're not my nigga, don't call me. Anyways, we are in for this feature. I'm a spoken word artist who's looking to speak less. I'm working on a book. So I want to do a couple pieces I'll be doing in public from the book. Then we gonna get to a couple pieces I'll be doing in public because we in public. Word.
Talk about it.
And can we go back to, can we bring word back? I miss word. I mean, I get word, like, you still say yo, word, but like actual word, like hard ass, goofy ass word. I miss back when we was goofier. Like, I feel like everybody was happier and shit. Back when we was all like borderline just coming off crack, like straight out the 80s, like into the 90s back then. Wow.
Word.
I really be saying goofy shit in between serious ass poems. And I was gonna say right here, you have a page in the book. The poem is titled From the Fruit. From the fruit. I watched a rib learn to walk today. I watched a man become whole by losing a part of his self. I watched God make a mirror despite thinking vanity a sin. I'll be the first martyr, the first to die testing the prototype, temptation, forbidden, meant to see if this land be for garden, a graveyard, whether this ark be for story or the storm this time, whether kingdom or kindling for the fire. Next time you ask, was the bite worth the burning? I ask, does the bite justify the burning? If God made man in his image, then who is responsible for the cracks in the mirror? Does he watch the world blaze because he has no higher power to hold him accountable? Does heaven sit above the clouds just so it can skip the rain, skip the flood, skip the slaughters? What verse is used to drown out a genocide, and why? Why was God so more upset by the forbidden fruit than the strange one? Poem. Okay, we sliding through poems. I'm always in spaces where people ask me to be super performative, and like in slams where I got to do 3-minute pieces where I'm either going to cry or I'm going to fight somebody, or I'm going to make you want to cry or fight somebody. So the fact that I am scrolling through like book poems right now brings me a level of joy right here in Kobe earlobe, like right here where Kobe earlobe is. Love this page. I am. Death Before Surrender. I wrote this poem literally out of a workshop. We had the prompt, take a line from the person next to you's poem. I had a former Atlanta Youth Poet Laureate and the last IPS new pick champion, Nathan Wallace, give me a line, and it was Death Before Surrender. And I thought it fit right in the lines of like what I intended for my book. My book is titled For Now, It Be Like That. Working title, also considering the miseducation of niggas, also known as a love language for niggas, also known as niggas be human sometimes, also known as that's it. That's the title. Like just a black dude looking straight at you, just like this. Yeah. But the book is my attempt to essentially just be a nigga in a nigga's own words. like rather than the academic explanation for things we do and see and feel and think, and like these commodified ideals of what our own humanity is. I'm just going to write it, and as I see it and as I feel it and as I experience it and as I listen to other people who look like me but may not necessarily do anything else like me. So here's a poem called Death Before Surrender. Shout out to Nathan Wallith. To surrender is to cease resistance. To give yourself to gravity and be swallowed by this world. And don't that sound like a dead thing? On the days we grew up having nothing but hard, just relegated to resolve and right hook because resolution too expensive here. Compromise too high a cost for those used to having everything taken. I have married my ego. It is the only thing to tell me I do and mean it. Only person I promise fidelity and mean it. One of us will die at this altar, and I am far too used to staring down barrels. I don't even call it gun anymore. Just home. I've watched my father try to claw his way out before the crabs made a meal of his aspirations. I watched my mother try to patch the holes in the bottom with pieces of her flesh. I have experienced death far too many times to fear it. Safe space be a stranger. And by the time it moves, it will only be gentrification. I grow hard, tough, and weary as the concrete my chin hides from. On the day that I become more solid than the earth, may it split open. Make it make 6 feet of room for me so nobody dare say I died like a hoe, like a boy, like anything less than a myth of Black Achilles. Killed and healed in the same war. Okay, y'all let me get cute. So we gonna get performative because people often say after features, if I don't do any poems, tell them about my life. Hey, do poems to tell us about your life. We want to feel like we know you. I'll be like, why, nigga? I am one boring nigga. Like I read. I eat fruit. I be drinking water. Like, why the fuck y'all want to know about me? But anyway, we go do poems that teach y'all about me. Oh, let's see here. Dr. King once said that even if it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, you go forth and sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote his poetry. Be the best at whatever you are. You take pride in your work because depression comes when there's no pride left to take. You see, 23 years ago, it felt my lot to be a nigga. 3 years ago, it felt to be a dropout. 2 years ago, it felt to be homeless. I felt a lot. I starved so much, my body turned broomstick hell. I cried so much, my body turned mop till it felt my lot to be a poet. I slammed for food money, sometimes in packed venues, most times in packed train cars, all times in ugly mirrors, just trying to see myself good at something. I felt in love with my train car stage. Some days I wanted to stand on the tracks and give it a kiss at full speed. I Michelangelo a smile to my jaw that felt like graffiti, hoping to be arrested for vandalism because they served 3 meals a day in prison. I performed in only the most gentrified of areas to avoid anyone I knew. Places where everybody's favorite poem, just something about Black kids dying, painting strange fruit the only way I knew they'd feed the starving artists. So I turned my notebook pages back into the trees we hung from, hoping there's a firewood to keep me warm at night. A white woman hands me $1, turns to her daughter and tells her I'm the most talented bum she's ever seen. Better than every hoodlum rapper on this train yesterday, and I wondered how pretty I must have made both of our deaths sound. When are plucking bodies from pavement to make my meals? Make me a street sweeper or a vulture, but the thoughts in my stomach keep getting drowned out by the growls. And my gut saying, get through the poem. I turn my notebook pages back into those trees we hung from, but they never protected me because at night, two guys put a knife on me in a subway and I became jealous of my shadow. I was able to disappear in times of darkness. They left nothing but darkness in my pockets. After taking my pride, my cell phone, and some white woman's dollar. Do you know what it is to lose everything when you have already had nothing? The police asked me if I was on the way home at the time of the robbery, and I don't know how to tell them that this was a home invasion. That I'm so broke, I'm broken into, that this body be larceny, stolen from a person with a reason to live, that I am a street sweeper in a desert, and the dust in my lungs has made it too hard to pray. And all Dr. King got to say is no matter what you do in life, you better do it like 3 white men. Capitalism say you look like the most talented vulture we've ever seen. My stomach say, boy, get through this fucking poem. We got a star in someone else's. My pride say, stop apologizing for staying alive, because sometimes sweeping streets feels a lot like bringing caskets. The first draft of this poem was a train car kiss. It was a suicide note written on an ugly mirror because depression came and there was no pride left to take. But if you took a brick through the windows of my soul, you'd have found nothing but time and a pen. So I wrote myself a future. I wrote myself here in front of you. I wrote the eulogy of everything that has ever tried to kill me. It is entitled, Boy, You're Not Beethoven, You Music. You're not Michelangelo, just the image, the image, no Beethoven. You be poetry. You are all the pride that comes with finding all the art that is in yourself. The best of whatever you are. Even when all that is alive. In crafting this book, I felt it pertinent to.
Wait, how much is your book? How much is the book?
Oh, the book. See, I'm planning on a price line of $15 on release.
Only $15.
I was waiting for somebody to do that. See, y'all seasoned. Y'all know what y'all do.
You can't afford not to buy it.
You know what I'm saying? I felt needed to add my own personal affects and stories where I can, because what better way to humanize but to give human? And I also write poems involving various figures I admire and what their humanity means to me. And just the various ways I'm able to see myself in this grandiose society we've created. So this poem is called MJ, and it is an attempted humanization of, y'all gonna know MJs when y'all hear MJs, and no, it's not just one. When they said he could fly, untethered to the humanness of gravity, did it make him more or less? More like God, less like crow, black, flying, and a symbol of death. You had no name for this. So say beast, say star, say air, say anything but man, because man not capable, and black even less than man. Man belonged to gravity, black belonged to graveyard, the streets that sing him to psalm or lullaby, depending on where the shots land, chasing chains made from the rocks ripped beneath his feet. When he walked on the moon, did he become weightless? Did the blue sky resemble water? Did you long to see his body float to the top? Did you think it lonely up there? Did you think we wouldn't remember him? That by the night his skin would fade and fade and fade. When he walked on the moon, you asked how he got there. But you have never asked what made Earth so worth leaving. So worth leaving. Ooh, we done got through. What my Tom looking like person who's a little more professional than I am and way better looking? Anyone who fits those descriptions.
You got
You
time
got
for
like
like one more?
Yeah, I'm about to say you in the wrong slam for professionalism.
I was like, I might have the pretty down, but not professional at all.
I'm weak. Let's see, one more. What poem to do? Poem to do. I can't. How to close. See, this is me. I be falling in love with audiences, even like the quiet ones, and don't know how to leave, y'all. I gotta learn how to leave with a poem. So we're gonna dip in the manuscript, and
that last poem be the church parking lot.
It do. Oh, this is just a little short. Wait. This is just a little short bit I've been editing. You know what I'm saying? It's technically a palindrome, technically not. For those who are in the workshop, you can run this poem backwards and it's still sexy. If it was sexy the first time. If it wasn't sexy the first time, then negate everything I was about to say after. Maybe. Men make monuments of mirrors. Maybe merchants make mirrors for money. Maybe money makes monsters of men. Maybe men mistake money for medicine. Maybe medicine makes mortality monetary. Maybe mortality makes men make monuments. Maybe martyrs make myths of mortality. Maybe mothers make the most majestic of martyrs. Maybe majesty makes mouse monuments. Maybe mice make the most monumental of monsters. Maybe monsters make meals of majesty, but maybe, just maybe, the music makes medicine of movement. Maybe movements make men worth monuments. Maybe mortality makes money a myth. Maybe moments make mortality a mouse. Maybe mirrors make mothers worth monuments. And maybe monuments just make the most majestic of mirrors. Thanks, good folk. I got the chance to go super unorthodox because I was like, I'm around people who just be liking poetry and don't need me to do a song and dance all the time. I feel so blessed, but if they would like to, I can do the song and dance. I just, with so many features, I was like, I'm never going to get a chance to just do poems. And I ain't doing none of these poems ever again until the book drops. So Berkeley is special. And they make me feel special.
When does the book drop?
As of right now, I am aiming for September 3rd, which is my 25th birthday. You know what I'm saying?
Gang.
And building. You know what I'm saying?
Does that make you a Libra?
It makes me a Virgo. It does.
Virgo?
Not the Beyonce.
Virgo. Wait.
The zodiac sign. Yeah, because Beyonce's birthday is on the 4th.
Girl.
September.
You're right.
B-Day. Come on.
Oh my God, you're fucking right.
9484 B-Day. Come on. Like, you can't. Come on. Y'all pissing me off calling ourselves Beyonce fans.
I warm
I
everybody.
like Beyonce.
Hold
I'm
up,
not a
no one
Beyonce
gave me the
fan
green
because
light
I'm not
for
fucking
that jump.
crazy. Well, I am, just not in the way that Beyonce fans can be. I like Beyonce because I do not condone the Beehive.
Give it up for Chev.
But give it up for Chev. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so looking forward to your book. Look. I told you you were gonna learn. That was Chev, everybody. Oh my goodness.
This second round about to slap though. I'm not important.
Look, you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm not envious of any of the judges. I'm not envious of the damn scorekeeper. I looked at them scores. They're close to the motherfucker. So do with that as you will. This second round finna be motherfucking fire. And we are going to slip into it. No, all gas, no brakes, no sacrifice. We're just gonna slip right into the second round. So the second round is in reverse order of appearance, which means the second round, somebody already put it in my host checklist so I didn't have to do it myself. Ain't God good.
Love you, Reggie.
Huh?
I said love you, sibling.
Oh my gosh. I love you too, Prophet. So it wasn't God, it was the mouth of God. So, which I don't like the sound of that. We'll workshop it. But what we aren't workshopping is this list of poets who will be reading in this order. We have Don, we have Caleb, we have VLC, we have Nicole Tracy, and we have Shakina. Oh my goodness. Give it up for everybody who is going to be touching this stage in the second round. So this is the money round. So for information, poets, your scores are going to be cumulative, so from first and second round. So keep that in mind. But yeah, this is the money round. We have cash prizes for first, second, and third place. So yeah, this is, poets are not competing for fame or glory. They are competing for what everyone competes for: cold, hard capitalism. That is the biggest motivator in this country, I guess. I don't know. I like giving money to poets, and that's why we do this. So we're just gonna get right into this. On deck, we have Caleb. But give maximum love one last time for Don.
Let's go, poet.
Woo!
Woo!
It's tax season, and I know you're all thinking he looks good. Their taxes were put to good use. Like, brother, let me hold $1. But just like big businesses and the president, it's a lie, a farce. Them taxes ain't put no dent in my crater-shaped pockets. So I'm finna commit fraud. Lie about my W-2s to finally have a come up tired of being cock-blocked out of a blessing. I'm finna ask for Cash App links. Pyramid scheme my way into financial freedom, because if the 1% donates to dodge tax, I can lie about my credit card purchases. The government tells us that our 40-hour work weeks equal hundreds of dollars ripped from our overworked hands, as if my last wasn't just enough to be the gas inside of my tank to work for them. Choose between starving or rent, push back the bills farther and farther, working with what I got. Spent a year taking care of an apartment with 2 bodies inside of a one real income home, giving and giving. Yeah, my giving ain't a tax deductible. How funny is that? Have the nerve to ask us, do we want to withhold our tax on applications if we won't have to pay them back later? What type of bullshit loan is that? Why do niggas even have to pay taxes? Like, we still ain't get reparations. So waiting for a dollar sign amount to sum up the trauma that lives inside of my skin. Like, we don't pay the niggas that shoot me dead. Tax the Black boy joy out of these bones, suck the marrow out of me, give us Black Lives Matter walkways and Rosa Parks sign seats. Like, niggas even ask for that shit. Nah, nigga, run them pockets. Give me all that bread finna scam the scam of taxes like they ain't sitting on thousands. So I'm finna lie, cheat, steal, send those African emails until I rob them and everyone else that holds my money behind bars. Who's gonna retire my money? Who's gonna take care of her if every chance to get forward, she rips the retirement off her back? Because we blame mothers for not taking care of their children. If she doesn't take care of me, y'all would say, what type of mother is she? Pay the interest out of the student loans as if they would ever be paid while I'm alive. She does not know this. But I've watched her sneak her dreams inside of her closet, keep it hidden inside of scripture books for only her and God to see. Had to threaten my father with child support to give me more than the tax returns given to my mother. It's like niggas don't give a fuck about me or her, us. So if committing fraud to give my mother happiness is what it takes, then that's what it'll be. And maybe, just maybe, The rich will see it as a donation.
Gang, gang, gang. Give it up one last time for Don.
Woo, let's go, poet.
Woo.
Woo!
All right, judges, send your scores on over to Colin. Ooh. And let's see. On deck, we have the Aussie, but give maximum love to the second poet going in the second round. Give it up for Caleb.
Gang, 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 gang.
Woo!
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
I'm so sick of spitting the same poem. The one where he dies, the one where he's tombstone, the one where I couldn't save him, the one where I wake up every single morning with scratch marks on my pillow where I try to drag him back to this earth. So today, I will spit his story, his poem, his life in reverse. The crowd moonwalks back to their cars. 2012 to 1979 is uncarved from his tombstone. His father's threats are Mustangs stampeding back inside of his mouth. He says that if I show up to the funeral, they will bury me with his body. This wasn't really a threat. I wanted to be buried with his body. All they had was his body. Ronnie rises from the grave. 6 feet under, becomes 6 feet tall. The bullet unwraps from his temple. It re-enters the gun. The razor erases the marks on his wrist. He spits the pill back into the bottle. He was alive, becomes he is alive. He touches my cheek. He says that he loves me. He says that he will love me to the day that he dies. This isn't really fair. I always thought he meant for longer. Ronnie spent his whole life acting out of a script that he knew he'd be cut from. Every day he fought a war just to exist, and everywhere was a battlefield, and loving me was his form of a revolution. His father, unasked, who touched him, who made him gay. Homosexuals Anonymous, his third attempt, his second, his first. His father says there was love in his heart, but I say there was blood on his hands. Hometown, high school, bullied in class, avoid schools, shoved in locker, never pushed off the bleachers, down the stairs, pushed too far. The word faggot unscrawled from his yearbook picture. Rock unhits his window. Fist swims away from his jaw. Middle school, bruised face disappears. Told boys will be boys. It's not really assault if you're under 18. How he learned being called any part of a woman was the greatest of insult. At 5, he puts the Barbie down. At 1, his father is not afraid to hug him. He is born. His parents peek through the hospital glass, count his fingers and toes, and say all they ever want is for their son to be happy. And when they look at his face, all they see is potential.
Gang, gang, gang. Give it up for Caleb.
Woo!
All right, all right, all right. Do I have scores for the last poet? Mr. Scorekeeper? Ah, there we go. Our last poet got a 28.8. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Not the points. The poet. Never.
Gang, 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 gang.
Gang, gang. All right, all right. And on deck, we have Nicole Tracy. But give maximum love to our next poet coming up in the second round. Give it up for Vialcy.
Let's go, poet.
Woo!
Hella new shit.
New shit.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
When I think of the girl, the woman she was, the name she went by, I rebel against how history gave her a curse for a name, had her children memorize it into a grito, a shout, an insult, negative identity. She, creator of an idea, a person, a nation, all of which outgrew her. She was born the year 1500, our birds separated by 500 years, the exact date of hers unknown, a hypothesis, an educated guess, or another fill in the blank. She was born flesh and blood, one day transformed, flew into the sky, mixing with the ashes of who she'd been born as, turned irrevocably from someone to something new. Her ashes mixed in with her environment, the remnants of the people that had once been hers, before she was sold, renamed, repackaged, betrayed, and never resalvaged, her name a betrayal for repurposing herself, creating matter, worth where others had written off, sold, and discarded. When I think of her, I imagine this larger-than-life historical figure who was weighed down by humanity and sexuality that could not be removed from her role in society. She, sold into slavery, an esclava for the Españoles, conquistadores, another savage girl concubine in need of the colonial, conquesting, Catholic, and holy version of saving, ransacking, taking. Malintzin, Malinali, Malinche, the names que viviste are remembered by Doña Marina, señora, pero nunca completamente libre. Así te hicieron, así te moriste. Hasta estas palabras, esta lengua, those words in that language, the inheritance you left us, the Chicanos and Chicanas, the mestizaje half-breeds. You, our unholy mother who fought, clawed, crawled, climbed over, under, and through the mountain of obstacles and chains. Legs never allowed to touch, held open by the savage, hungry mouths of Spanish and Native American men. How the patriarchy did you dirty. The church who christened and baptized you, girl, you know what they did next? They turned your body from miracle, the tongue that held the answers, reframed you lingual and cultural navigator into seductress, temptress, the Eve in a story you had reclaimed to crown yourself survivor, thriver, from slave to high-ranking member once more, contributing to society's aristocracy. They took the story of your rape, your betrayal, and framed you as this larger-than-life figure who was the betrayer, the traitor, no better than those who sold a young girl to horny, unwashed European explorers, the ones that set fire to a civilization, burned down a kingdom and pillaged its people, stole land and other than themselves, forced language down the throats of the inhabitants of the Yucatan Peninsula. Malintzin, Malinali, Malinche, Doña Marina, you genius woman. You learned the system, what these men respond best to, and you fucking worked it to your advantage, became the voice people had no choice but to listen to. You, who held words in the palms of your hand, nestled on your tongue that no one else bothered to learn because stealing and forcing is not compatible with the needed adaptation of code switching. I got you, boo.
Gang.
Let's go, poet.
I went so over time.
Fuck time. But our scorekeeper will confirm that. Speaking of scorekeeper, can I get the score for the previous poet? Coming in. Time is such an illusion, let me tell you. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, these scores are close. Because our last poet got a 28.7. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet, never the points. The poet, never the points. Wow. Lit. Linear time sucks. I closed my eyes last night for 2 seconds and woke up and it was 11 a.m. So like time does not exist. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Yeah. Let's see. Damn, what happened to my list? Oh no. Found it. All right, we have a couple more poets for you tonight on deck. We have Shakina, but give maximum love to our next poet coming up on the mic. Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Mic check.
We can hear you.
To the platypus. 1, I know what it's like to be looked at with confusion, to be something in between two things and told you are not enough either. Ducks call you a beaver. Beavers will always call you a duck, and neither of them want you to be both. Both want to put the other part of you on trial and see which part of your quiddity they will find guilty. I know the ache of wishing you could turn your fur to feathers, wishing you could make your tail shrink. I know we share the same ache of wanting to be one thing just so we don't get asked the same question over and over and over again. I know how it feels to lose your voice when we get asked to pick one. I know you want your identity to be easy for other people to take into. How many ducks called you a beaver before you corrected them? How many jokes did you make at the expense of your own identity because it made it easier to be around someone else? I know some days you feel more duck than beaver, and other days you forget ducks even exist. But most days, you wish you could swing your tail and knock out anyone who says you're only a duck and peck away anyone who says you are only a beaver. Have you ever forgotten what a quack sounds like? Forgotten what your own voice sounds like surrounded by noise meant to do just that? Guess what, platypus? Don't forget about your venom. Don't settle for just being a duck or just being a beaver when you are so much greater than being equal to just one of them. 2, we are just a big fuck you to assumptions. We exist to spite easy, straightforward answers. You laughed all the way into your own creation, made sure they called you Ornithorhynchus anatus, and knew the most mammalian thing about you was that you are also a bird. Once you realized the ache to fit in was someone else shaming you, you chose to love your differences and became so much better for it. A stranger tries to correct you on your own experience. Mammals don't lay eggs. So you laughed in their face and dropped an egg right at their feet and moved on, never letting your voice be silenced anymore. Your biofluorescence glows in the dark just because you were not satisfied unless everyone was confused and astounded by you. We are both hidden danger to others, but never ourselves. That is the difference between venom and poison after all. Don't forget about your venom. We are both the best part of so many unexplained entities. Love that some puzzles are unsolvable, and we are one of those puzzles. We are both so happy to be greater than just one simple thing.
Gang, motherfucking gang. Woo! Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Wow. Okay, I have to wade through comments to find the scores. Damn, you were right. After a time penalty, BLC got a 26.6. Fuck linear time.
Fuck that shit, dude. That poem was
Fuck
fire.
time.
Fuck linear time.
Fuck linear time.
The only reason that time exists is because of capitalism and agriculture.
Fuck capitalism.
Mostly capitalism. And agriculture exists the way it does because of capitalism, and agriculture is one of the leading causes of climate change on the country. So your veganism does nothing, honey. Anyway, on deck, we have figuring out who won all of this money and giving it. I mean, we're already home, but going to bed because I think it's late for some people. But give maximum love for our last poet of the night. Give it up for Shakina.
Go get it, put a little poem in it.
Mic check? Or does this work? I'm gonna assume this works.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
My auntie has a year to live. These last 10 months, a death march, her addiction scheduled, and no one is crying. My family all wears veils and refuse to grieve for her. She's been the dying dead for a long time. How lonely it must be to be alive at your own funeral, to hold every conversation as a eulogy at your repast. Her body has alchemized into a mausoleum. My aunt spent the majority of her life in a glass house until she's cautionary tale. A boogeyman that can ransack your bedroom with or without a nightlight. I always knew about my auntie's addiction. This trench coat clinging to her back, revealing her ribcage turned crack pipe, showing just how much desire is nourished by flesh. Her funeral will be church smothered with faces. Makeshift pallbearers, all too scared to carry her name on their tongue. Here lies Barbara, the family's bad habit, remembered by the whispers of the floorboards that always announce her arrival. The empty space between their goodbye and I love you. Here lies Auntie, who I never heard my mama call sister. Here lies the only woman in my family who learned how to fly. My aunt is dying and she finds God in this, that his vengeance is holy, like she has desecrated his temple. She does not say hell when we ask about the other side, but it's perched on her lips. As if damnation is the only way to amend. My family do not say relieved when I ask will they miss her, but it prickles across their skin. They say that God is a jealous God. They cannot bury her in heaven, but I doubt they would. We've been practicing the ashes to ashes of ashes. This is the first time I've heard a prayer breathing death into someone. Auntie and her son shares faces. He still cradles the addiction she passed him. It's looking like a dying woman makes you the hunted or the hunting. His mouth a shallow grave. He buries his life and his children, gives them meth-coated kisses to replace sweet dreams, dust to dust. There's barely anything of her to bury. What's the point of a grudge? He calls just to tell me he forgives her. He calls just to ask about redemption. If sinners have souls too, then what will be the state of hers by the end of this? And I can't name a guy he should pray to. His ears might be too heavy to listen. Mary's heart too strong to weep. Let the dead bury the dead. Have you begun to lift a dying woman's spirit? I keep tracing her numbers on my keyboard, fingers too ashamed to dial. I've only called her by narcotic. A crack in my granny's heart, a rock in a hard place summed her existence in 3 words. Pipe, organs, burial. As if her whole life was only a funeral song. All she wanted was to be known as something else. I spent this entire poem calling her an addict.
Damn.
Gang. Give it up for Shakina.
Woo! Let's go, poet.
Let's go,
All
poet.
right. And Nicole Tracy got a 28.4. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Never the points. The poet.
Yes, poet.
Never the points. And while I am waiting on Shakina's score, I am going to do the adult thing, the thing that I have waited my entire life to do. I'm gonna pour me a cup of juice.
Woo!
I deserve tequila for this.
While you're pouring that juice, tell Tino to send me. Oh, there we go. Never mind.
Almost had to
Austin,
wrangle
what's
a
that
judge.
song?
Hey.
That's the Jeopardy theme song if LeVar Burton ever hosted.
Period. Damn. Damn. I say damn because they're after what our the scorekeeper has referred to as after a fat ass time penalty. Which fuck linear time. Shakina got a 25.5.
Yo, what the fuck?
Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet, never the point. Oh
Fuck
my
linear
God.
time. Let's go,
Fuck
poet.
time
And fuck the judges.
I mean, like, I know, like, you know, there are rules and everything, but like my least favorite thing are time penalties because like sometimes like when I'm scorekeeping, I'll see like, damn, like if you wouldn't have gone over time, you would have had this shit. Like everybody was like fucking with your shit.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
I hope not everybody was kung fu fighting. That would be very dangerous. At least, I mean, if you can't fight, y'all be easy. Let's see. I'm currently waiting for the scores. Oh, I just got them. Look at you, scorekeeper, speed racer. Come on. Mr. I can do math because I am a teacher. Ooh, I can do math because I have a baby. Which I feel like you can do math because you have a baby and now you have a little one that you got to teach math. Like, I can't remember numbers because I don't have to teach anybody how to count.
I do not, in fact, know math, but I do, in fact, know calculator.
Girl, calculator, calculator, calculator. But we do have the scores. So, I need a... God. Apparently, I also can't drink juice. Not one in my skill set. God, who knew this bimbo rebrand would be hard? Whew. I need a drum roll, not a god. What I needed was oxygen. But what I now need is a drum roll. Brrr.
Yeah.
In third place with a 57.0, winning 20 whole American dollars. Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Yes. Let's go, Nicole.
Anything you have to say to the people?
Rude. I kept my partner up to make him cheer, and he's not cheering loudly because it's 1 a.m. But he is bringing me our cat, so I know. You know
She said, "Let me go, foul demon."
Oh, you're too high. We have a standing desk. We have a standing desk, so she tried jumping off the standing desk. So it's like twice the height it normally is. And I was like, oh no.
No, that's not a good idea, kitty.
Yes.
But thank you so much, Nicole. And yeah, we will see you next time, yeah?
You next time. See you Saturday. Oh my God, there's a show Saturday.
Is this Saturday the 3rd Saturday?
Yes.
Does that make that Rich Oak Alchemy?
It does.
Oh my goodness, who's hosting?
Oh my God, I think it's Colin.
It's Colin. Lit. So our scorekeeper is multi-talented. He can host and do math. Like, that's better than me. But thank you, Nicole,
I
and
can
we'll see you
just host.
Saturday.
I want to
See
make
you
that
Saturday.
clear. I can just host.
But you can read a spreadsheet, and that's something that I say I'm proficient in Excel, but are any prospective employers watching this? I am very proficient in Excel, unless otherwise stated. Lit in second place with a 57.6, winning 30 whole American dollars. I need y'all to give it up for Caleb. Anything you got to say to the people?
It just feels good to be back in the Bay, even though I'm here in Orlando.
It's great to have you back. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. Like I miss California. Don't miss that rent though.
Fuck you.
My mortgage is no. My mortgage is $450.
See, that's the shit that I hate. I was looking up apartments and put in like my my budget in apartments.com, but I forgot to put in my location. So it searched apartments nationwide. And I found, like, I'm looking at this apartment, it's like 1,800, 4 bedrooms. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Where the fuck is this? And I'm like, Texas, god damn it.
Well, I'm telling you, I live 5 minutes away from Walt Disney World. So like I'm right outside of Celebration. I get to walk lakes with my dog every day that I'm off work. I got to be careful about the fucking alligators and the Republicans, but whatever. So
you said alligators twice.
Right, exactly. Could you possibly the feature tonight? Like, could you send him that money for me, please?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do with it, yeah, we could totally send that to the feature for sure.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for supporting our feature. I know he'll really appreciate that.
Caleb, bless your heart and everyone that has ever seen it or been within 50 feet of it. I'm just in here, mouth open, like you just said that, fam. Thank you.
Wow. I think that was like the best thing I've ever heard. Bless your heart and everyone who's been within 50 feet of it. Like, that's
well, now that I'm not paying $3,200 a month for rent.
Look. Everywhere got better rent than me. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Except New York. New York.
No, I miss San Francisco. I'm gonna come and see you all soon. I miss it. I miss it.
Please do. We miss you.
Mm-hmm.
And let us know when you're coming.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna do a big drum roll. In first place with a 58.8. Give it up for Dog.
Let's go.
Oh my God. Thank y'all. I'm sorry. It's very awkward. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm socially awkward.
Is this your first time here?
Yes. Your annoying feature sent a very come join or I'll kill myself type of text message. So I came to save a life.
Not myself, you.
I came to save a life. I'm doing God's work. So that's very
Period.
So it's a pleasure to be. I always have a team practice when he's always comes here to slam, so I can like never come and slam with y'all.
Wow. Well, I'm really glad that you were able to come and slam with us tonight. And you are always welcome to slam with us tonight or any other night. We have plenty of other shows on different nights. So if you're available, our mic is always open for you.
Yes. If anybody liked what they heard, why am I brain farting? My IG is life of the period. I'm gonna put in the chat. Life of Don. You can follow me. I follow back. I post nice videos and I dress nice. So if you like those types of things, you can follow me.
Period. What more could you ask for in an Instagram? So follow Don. Thank you so much for being here and congratulations. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Nicole and Caleb, Shakina, VLC, Chev. Thank you, like everybody who like works on this shit and makes it possible. Thank you, Prophet, live streaming and shit, first timer, gang. It does not get easier. But thank you for pushing through it tonight. Thanks to our scorekeeper, Colin, for doing math on a Wednesday night. Thank you to our bout manager, I think that was also Prophet. Prophet doing double duty. And thank you to all of our committee members. And thank you to you sitting at home, watching a poetry slam in your living room, in your fuzzy pajamas. Look at you looking cute without trying. Look at you, you know, like this is effort, but you, that's natural beauty and you get to go to sleep on that. And with that, I'm gonna say good night. It's been a pleasure and we will see you on Saturday for the Alchemy Open Mic on Instagram Live, hosted by the motherfucker that stole my face, Colin. So see you then. Bye.